This is a famous case in contract law. In 1880, a buyer named McLean was looking to purchase some iron from a seller named Stevenson. So he sent the following telegram to Stevenson. "I will give you £40 for your iron if you can deliver the whole of it within 2 weeks from this date." Now, Stevenson didn't want to deliver the whole lot in just 2 weeks. He wanted to spread the delivery over a longer period. And also he was hoping that McLean might agree to let him have some credit for the purchase. So before responding, Stevenson sent the following telegram to McLean. "Can you manage to deliver the iron in 2 months? If so, I will take the whole quantity on credit." The key question is, did Stevenson destroy McLean's offer with his inquiry? Was this an offer and counter-offer scenario, or was it a request for information that left the offer alive? Well, this is important because in contract law, when there is an offer and a counter-offer, the offer is rejected and dies and a new offer is born. But a simple request for information does not kill the offer. The offer stays alive until it's accepted, rejected, or expires. So what happened here? Let's find out. This case went all the way to the English Court of Appeal, and in 1890, it was decided that Stevenson's message was a request for information and did not amount to a counter-offer. Therefore, McLean was in breach of contract when he sold the iron to another buyer. To understand why this was a request for information and not a counter-offer, we need to look at the wording used in Stevenson's message. Here it is again. "Can you manage to deliver the iron in 2 months? If so, I will take the whole quantity on credit." Note that Stevenson did not say, "I will not take the whole quantity unless you allow me to have it on credit," or "I will only accept your offer if you allow me to deliver it over 2 months." These words would have made it clear that Stevenson was introducing his own terms and was no longer accepting McLean's offer. But this is not what he said. His words were, "if you can manage," which suggests he was asking whether McLean could agree to those terms, not saying that those were the terms on which he would accept. These were questions, not statements of terms, and that is why it was held to be a request for information and not a counter-offer. It's important to note the difference between the two. A counter-offer rejects the offerer's terms and introduces new ones. But a request for information does not reject anything. It seeks to clarify or expand the existing offer without altering its terms. So how did the court know that Stevenson wasn't making a counter-offer? Well, it's because of the way he phrased his questions. He didn't say "I will" or "I shall" or "I do." He used words like "can" and "will," and that is an important distinction. If you want to counter-offer, make it clear that you are rejecting the existing offer and stating your own terms. But if you just want to ask for more information, stick to questions. So in this case, McLean received Stevenson's question and thought about it for a bit. He then decided that he would treat it as a counter-offer. That was his right. He could choose to treat it as a counter-offer or as a request for information. He chose to treat it as a counter-offer, and that meant that McLean was free to accept, reject, or negotiate Stevenson's counter-offer. He decided to accept Stevenson's counter-offer, but not in the way that Stevenson expected. You see, Stevenson expected McLean to say something like, "Okay, I will deliver the goods in 2 months, and I will allow you to have them on credit." But instead, McLean said, I don't want to wait 2 months. I want the goods now. And also, I don't want to sell on credit. I want cash. So McLean decided to sell the iron to someone else for cash up front. And when Stevenson heard that, he immediately cabled McLean saying, "I offer to buy the iron at £40 per ton on your terms." By that time, though, the iron was sold, so Stevenson sued for breach of contract. If you think this is a complicated case, you should check out this one, where a husband promised to pay his wife an allowance of £30 a month so long as she remained a good and faithful wife. What happens when a husband breaches a promise like that? Find out in this video. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it interesting, please consider subscribing. See you next time.